Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today I'll be taking us on how to draft a corset with a deep illusion neck. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly do that and let's get right into the video. So I folded my pattern paper into two. On the starting point, I'll be taking my shoulder measurement divided by 2. The shoulder I'm working with divided by 2 will give me 7.5. From that point, I came down to my armhole line, which is 8 inches. The bust point at 10 inches, the under bust at 12.5 inches, and the half length at 15 inches. So I went ahead to connect the lines. After doing that, I indicated my lines. So this is my chest line, bust point, under bust, and my waist. So what I did next was to chalk my neck measurement, which is 3 by 3. Then I connected the curve using my curve ruler. Then on the starting point, I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I connected it to the neckline. So after connecting my lines, I'll check the distance between this point to this point, which I have 7.5. I divided it by 2, and on that point, I'll come in by 0.5 inch. Then on the chest line, I'll take my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'm just going to curve in my armhole. So what I'll do next is take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. The nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 3.5, but I added half inch to it, that's 4 inch. So I'm just going to chalk 4 inches all the way down. After doing that, you determine how deep you want your yoke to be. From the starting point, that's the shoulder line, I'm just going to place my tape and come down by 6.5. So I want it to stop at 6.5 inch. So I'm just going to connect it to that 6.5 inches. So what I'll do next is on the underbust, I'll be taking my darts. So on each side, I'll be taking 1 inch that. So I took 1 inch on both sides. Then I connected it straight down to the waistline, just as you see me do. Then I'm just going to connect the dart leg to the bust point line. Then on my new neckline, I'll be coming in by 1 inch on both sides. Came in on this side of the pattern by 1 inch and also came in here by 1 inch. Now I'm going to connect them to the bust point line using my curve ruler. So after connecting my lines, what I'll do next is on the bust point line, I'll be coming in by 0.5 inch. So you come in here by 0.5 inch. So I came in by 0.5 inch, and from that point, I'm just going to connect that line all the way down to the underbust using my curve ruler. So you can choose to use your free hand, anyone that works for you. Then from this point, I'll just connect all the way up. So you can either use your curve ruler or your free hand. So most times I prefer using my free hand. So I'm just going to use my pencil to just blend in that curve. So you can see we are done with this side of the cup. So what I'll do next is work on this other side. So I'll check the distance between the bust point and the under bust. So the distance between the bust and the under bust is 2.5 inches. I'll be adding extra half an inch to it. But if your bust is fuller, you can add extra 1 inch to it. So I added half an inch to it, which gave me 3 inches. As you can see, from that 3 inches point, I'll connect it all the way down to the under bust using my curve ruler. Then after connecting to the under bust, I'll connect from the bust point all the way up to the chest line using my curve ruler. Then I'm just going to connect from this point all the way down here. So I'll use my pencil to just like trace the curve. After tracing the curve using my pencil, I'm just going to be using my marker to make the lines visible for you guys. So after doing that, we're done with the curves as you can see. Now for the deep illusion neck, depending on how deep you want it to be, you can go from this point all the way down to the waistline, or you can stop at the under bust depending on your preference. So for me, I'm just going to be stopping at the under bust. So from this point, you just go all the way down to the under bust. That's if you're stopping at the under bust. So this is what it looks like, as you can see. So guys, this area will serve as the yoke. So I'll go ahead now to take out my dart. After taking out my dart, what we'll do next is place our measurement and replace back the dart we took. So on the chest line, I placed my bust divided by 4. As you can see, I replaced back this dart I took. Then I'll be adding extra 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Then on the under bust, I'll place my under bust measurement divided by 4. I'll replace back this dart I took, and I'll be adding extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll do the same thing at the waistline. My waist measurement divided by 4. I'll replace back the dart I took, and I'll be adding extra 2 inches for my sewing allowance. I'll go ahead now to connect my lines together. So after connecting my lines, this is what the front part looks like. As you can see, I'll go ahead to label this as my front yoke. So guys, we're done with the front part of the corset. I'll go ahead now to cut out my pattern, and I'll be taking the yoke area. You can see how I'm cutting out the yoke area. After cutting the yoke area, you can choose to label your cups before cutting so you don't get confused. I forgot, so I'm just doing mine now. So I labeled my cup 1 and 2. After doing that, I can go ahead now to take out the cup. So guys, this is what the front pattern looks like. Let's go over to the back. So for the back, I folded my pattern into 2. If you're adding a zip to it, you can chuck your zip allowance and roll it straight down, but I won't be adding a zip to mine. So what I'll do is just draft out my basic bodice block. So I'll take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5. So I came down to my armhole line, which is 8 inches. Then my waistline at 15 inches. Then I went ahead to connect the lines. Please, if you've watched the video to this point and you're yet to subscribe, kindly do that. What I did next was to chalk my chest line and my waistline. So for the neck, I'm going to be using 3 inches as well. Then I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I went ahead to connect the line. So I'll check what I have on the chest line area. So I checked what I have. I have 7 inches divided by 2. And on the chest line, I'll be placing my bust measurement divided by 4. So the bust divided by 4 is 9 inches. So I'll go ahead now to curve out my armhole. So what I'll do next is take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So the nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 1 inch, that's 4 inches. So I chalked 4 inches all the way down. Then I connected it into a straight line. So what I'll do next is take my dart. So on the waist area, I'll be taking half an inch on both sides. Then I'll connect the dart leg all the way up. So just watch what I'm doing. So what I'll do next is place my measurement. On the chest line, I'll place my bust divided by 4, and I added 2 inches sewing allowance. On the waist as well, my waist divided by 4. I'll replace back the dart I took, and I'll also add 2 inches for my sewing allowance. So what I'll do next is just connect my lines together. So guys, this is what the back looks like. I'll be adding a loop to it. So you determine how open you want the loop area to be. You can take 2 inches off. You can take 1.5 off. So it depends on your preference. For me, I'll be taking 1.5 inches off. So I went ahead to chalk 1.5 inches. Then I connected it into a straight line. So this part, I'm just going to be taking it off. So I went ahead to label the part I'll be taking off. After doing that, the loop will be on this side of the pattern. You can see the dot that I'm chalking down. That's where your loop will be. So for the neck, it depends on how you want the neckline to be. So you can come down by 2 inches and just give it a round neckline. And from this point, just go all the way down. then you attach a button at that top, or you can choose to from this point just go all the way down here. So for me, the neckline that I want to work with is from this point all the way down to this point. So I'll label this as my back yoke. So guys, we're done with the back pattern. I'll go ahead now to cut out my pattern. So guys, this is how to make a deep illusion neck. Hope this tutorial was helpful. I'm sorry I won't be making the sewing parts because I do not have any particular cloth that has this design. I made this video because I got a lot of requests on this particular video. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, and follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Sew with Tess. For now, I'll say bye.